Hey there, travelers. Enra Silver here, and welcome to episode 35 of GlitchSlapped by Enra. About a week ago, I put out a short with 3 different types of base defense stacks. There was a Gatling Gun, a Railgun, and a cannon. Now, each one of these stacks was a bit too complex to fit into a short, so in that short, I promised that I'd put out an episode where I showed you how to make each one of those stacks, and this is that episode. So without further ado, let's get to it. Now, all 3 glitch stacks were made using variations of the 8-sided light box, so I figured we'd start things off by going over exactly how to make an 8-sided light box. All 3 stacks use variations of vertical 8-sided light boxes, so let's start with the vertical light floor. Snap a second floor next to it and grab the short wall out of the menu. Green stated in between the 2 floors and press triangle and R2 on PlayStation to do a reverse wire glitch. This will leave you with a wire tip. Attach this to the connector of the second light floor. Delete the first light floor, green stated back in the same spot, and press triangle and R2 to do another reverse wire glitch, and this time attach the connector to the point between the 2 floors. Now green stated third light floor above the second and reverse wire glitch. Now move your cursor over the wire connection point centered on the first light floor, making sure you are not on the connector for the light floor itself. Now instead of attaching the wire, press triangle and R2 again to glitch the light floor merged into the first one at a 45-degree angle. Have 2 more light floors upwards off the new floor and then delete all but the outer 2 floors. Now you're ready to assemble your 8-sided light box. Now this can be done with universal adjacency, and in fact, the Gatling gun will require the UAG. But for making normal 8-sided light boxes, I tend to use backwards adjacency. Since I'm a PS player, I find the button pushes for backwards adjacency to be easier on the DualSense controller than the UAG sequence. Merely personal preference. Feel free to use the UAG if you prefer. That being said, backwards adjacency is much more limited than the UAG. In fact, this is really the only thing I still use it for. To do backwards adjacency, select the light box from the menu and press triangle and L2. This stores the light box in your wire cache while making the light floor your active piece. Now green state the light floor off the second light floor, paying attention to what side of the light floor the line is on, and press triangle and R2 to switch to a light box. Repeat 3 more times, pressing R1 each time to rotate the light panel so that the line is on a different edge of the floor each time. Now you have a 4-sided light box. Snap a light floor inward off the 45-degree floor and delete all other floors. Repeat backwards adjacency 4 more times off this floor, and now you have an 8-sided light box. Now that we went over that, let's get to the mayhem. We'll start with the Gatling gun. Start by glitching a light floor onto a wire with the other end of the wire at the edge of the floor. Snap a basic floor to this side. Snap a raised paver off a side of the floor and place a pyramid adornment on the floor. We'll be using these to copy for UAGs. Grab the cube out of the menu and press triangle and square to store it in your wire cache. Move your cursor over to the raised paver and press R1 to copy it. Green state the paver on the same side as the light panel and press triangle and R2 to glitch in the cube instead. This is the universal adjacency glitch, or UAG, one of the most useful glitches in the game. Now copy the raised paver again and press triangle and square to store it in your wire cache. Copy the pyramid and green state it on the side of the cube, stretching back over the panel. Press triangle and R2 to glitch in the raised paver instead. Snap another paver below the first and delete all but the paver and light floor. Snap a basic floor to the top of the paver and delete the paver and light floor. Snap a new light floor to the bottom of the basic floor and delete the basic floor. Grab a golden half counter from the menu and store it in your wire cache. Copy the light floor and green state it above, making sure the line is on the left or right of the floor. Press triangle and R2 to glitch in the golden half counter. Now copy the light floor and store it in your wire cache. Copy the golden half counter and green stated above the previous one. Press triangle and R2 to glitch in the light floor, delete the golden counter, and snap a light floor beneath the one you just glitched in. Delete the bottom light floor. Notice the wire is now centered on the floor panel. Now follow the setup for an 8-sided light box I showed you a couple minutes ago. The variation with the Gatling gun is that instead of using backwards adjacency to make an 8-sided light box, you need to use a UAG from a light floor to a noise box and make an 8-sided noise box. Notice the connectors on the noise boxes are rotated 90 degrees from the light box. This is the key to the Gatling gun barrels. Now delete all but the outer two light floors and use backwards adjacency to glitch a light box one panel inward off the light panel to the side of the noise box. Green state another light box outward and adjacency to the light floor. Snap another light box to the first and repeat the adjacency to light floor as many times as you want. The more light boxes you use, the longer your gun barrels will be, but also the more work it will be. For this stack, I decided to go out 5 boxes. Once you've got the light floors, use these to set up 4 more 8-sided noise boxes. Now we've got a line of 5 8-sided noise boxes. Let's glitch a gas canister onto each connection point. Now we've got the barrels of the gun complete, let's get to the body. Delete all the noise boxes and glitch a light box onto your original start point. Snap 5 boxes backwards and delete all but the final box. Green state a light box in front of the last one and adjacency to a light floor. Now we need to slide this light floor slightly forward to ensure a merge we like. So snap a basic floor to it. Snap 3 raised pavers off the top of the floor and move the floor to snap to the top of the pavers. Delete the pavers and light floor. Snap 2 small walls downward off the side of the floor panel. Delete the floor panel and replace it snapped to the bottom edge of the bottom small wall. Use backwards adjacency to green state a light panel and glitch in a light box at this new position. Snap another light box behind this one and use UAG to bait another light box forward of this new box and switch to a cylinder. Notice how the cylinder merges only about a third of the way into the gas canisters. Snap 2 more light boxes forward, merged into the cylinder. Move your build camera around to the front and delete all the wires. Grab a lab lamp out of the menu and turn it black. Center it on the front of the cylinder, shrinking it slightly so it fills the diameter of the cylinder. Now use UAG to bait a light box forward and switch to a pipe. Color this pipe black and rusted. Now snap a pipe onto the top of the cylinder. Notice how it overlaps the previous pipe by just a little bit. We'll use this. Snap another pipe to the first, then grab the triple hanging light and center it on the pipe. Now snap another pipe to the one snapped to the cylinder, and it covers up the stand of light. Now it's time for the breech of the gun. Move behind the cylinder and delete the outer light box, then drop the inner light box down 2. Glitch a light box onto the horizontal point you started everything from and extend it back 2 and drop it down 1. Next, off to the side, pick the biolantern, size it up slightly and place it. Use UAG to bait the sized biolantern and switch to a sized construction research unit. Use the move command to pick up the construction research unit and move around behind the cylinder. Center the piece on the top light box, merged into the back of the cylinder as much as possible. You want the construction research unit to be big enough that the hologram on top pokes above the cylinder, but nothing else. You might have to play with the size on the biolantern until you get the right size on the construction research unit. Now delete the upper light box and grab the wheelbarrow out of the menu. Green state it on the lower light box and use R3 to switch axis and rotate so that its front is angled up and merged into the body of the cylinder. Size it up so that the handles stick out wider than the construction research unit and place it. Now off the box, one back of the box you glitched onto the original horizontal point. Drop down 3 more boxes and use UAG to bait a light box and switch to a raised paver. Notice we've still got a gap between the paver and the cylinder? Let's fix that. Snap a basic floor off the back of the paver, then snap 3 more raised pavers off the back side of that floor. Delete the floor and replace it snapped to the top of the 3 pavers. Delete the 3 pavers and snap 2 small walls off the bottom of the floor. Delete the floor and replace it snapped to the bottom edge of the bottom small wall, making sure not to snap it back to the original raised paver. Now delete the original paver and replace it snapped to the floor, gap gone. Color the paver black and rusted. Snap another light box backwards off the spot you just used UAG to place the first raised paver, and use the UAG to bait another light box backward and switch to a paver again. Color the new paver black and rusted. Grab the classic chair out of the menu, go back over to your sized biolantern, and use UAG to glitch a sized chair next to it.
Pick up the chair and green state it back on the lower of the two pavers, making sure to center it between the handles on the wheelbarrow and place it. Delete the floor, small walls, and all the light boxes you can see, and you've got a Gatling gun. Now let's move on to the Railgun. This is made with stacked 8-sided light boxes instead of noise boxes. Same technique though. Again, the further out you stack it, the longer your barrel will be. For the tutorial, we're going to stick with 5. Once you get the row of 8-sided light boxes, again glitch gas canisters onto each connection point. Once this is done, delete all the light boxes, but try and leave one remaining on the last stack. If you accidentally delete them all, just glitch a new box onto your original vertical connection point. Now snap 3 more boxes backward and delete all but the last box. Wire glitch a light fissure onto the center top of the last light box. Now wire glitch a bubble pipe onto the wire tip closest to your start point. Grab a signal booster out of the menu and wire glitch it onto your original vertical point. Now glitch a second bubble pipe onto the next wire tip outward from the first bubble pipe, and grab the circle hanging light out of the menu and place it centered on the front bubble pipe. Delete the front bubble pipe and glitch a new bubble pipe onto the second outermost wire tip so it merges nicely with the circle's hanging light. Off the light box in the back, snap another light box backward, then delete the front one. Use UAG to bait that box back and switch to a cube. Color the cube blue and wood. Glitch a light box onto your original horizontal connection point and drop it down 4 more light boxes. Delete all but the bottom light box and pick the sealed reservoir from the menu. Place it on top of the light box and scale it up until the top quarter of it merges into the cube. Delete the wires, and you're done. Now let's finish up with the cannon. Just like the first 2 stacks, start with a vertical light floor centered on a horizontal wire. The next step is the same as well, create a vertical connection point. Now glitch a light box onto the vertical point and snap 4 more backwards. Snap 3 more light boxes upward, green state a 4th, and reverse wire glitch. Attach the wire to the original connection point. Grab a light floor out of the menu and wire glitch it to the angled connection point. Delete the vertical light floor and snap an angled floor beside the first. Green state another light floor above the second and reverse wire glitch. Move the wire to the slanted connection point and wire glitch the floor merged into the first at a 45-degree angle. Now you know what we're going to do. Make a slanted 8-sided light box. Now extend the sides out 2 light boxes, making sure the first extended ring has the connectors all on the same side. If this is set right, the second ring will come in with the correct orientation automatically. Delete all but the outer ring. Pick an SRT out of the menu and store it in your wire cache. Copy a light box and starting at a point on the ring, place another light box inward and green state a second back in the center. Use UAG to glitch in the SRT. Delete the inward placed box and move to the next spot in the circle. Repeat at all 8 spots. Now you have a ring of SRTs. Drop down another 2 light boxes from the center point and color the bottom box yellow. Delete the top box and use UAG to copy the bottom and bait it back above and switch to the gas extractor. Next, snap 5 boxes upward off one of the outside circle of boxes, which one doesn't matter. Snap 1 more box inward, then use UAG to bait another box inward and switch to the electronic cloaking device. Delete the inward placed box. Snap 1 more box upward and 1 more inward. Use UAG to bait another box inward and switch to the flaming barrel. Now green state the box back in adjacency to a light floor. Snap another light floor off the new one, then delete the first light floor. Snap another light floor to the right of the current one, making sure the line is pointing up. Grab the short wall out of the menu and green state it on the outside edge of the new floor. Reverse wire glitch and attach the wire to the connection point on the nearest light floor. Delete the first light floor, green state it back, and reverse wire glitch. Attach this tip to the edge connection point. Delete the light floor and glitch a new light floor onto the connection point centered where the first light floor was. Notice your floor is now flipped 180 degrees. Snap a small wall off the inner side and snap another light floor to it. Snap another small wall to the inner side and delete everything but the last light floor. Use the UAG to bait a light panel back over the center and switch to an alloy wall cap. Paying close attention to the location of the line on the panel. Repeat 3 more times, making sure to rotate the floor 90 degrees each time.
off the bottom light box at the rear of the cannon, adjacency to a light floor, and wire glitch a cartwheel to the edge of the floor. Snap another light box towards the gas extractor and adjacency to a light floor from one more light box closer to the extractor. Snap a floor to the side and delete the other. Use backwards adjacency to bait the panel back and switch to a light box. Make sure the line on the floor is pointing to either side. Green state a light box off the side of the newly oriented light box and adjacency to a light floor again. Repeat on the other side, then snap light floors behind each of the new floors. Delete all but the last two floors and adjacency from the centered light box back to a light floor. Snap two small walls to each side of the floor and delete the bottom one. Now copy the cartwheel and place it centered on the side of the short wall. Turn on free placement so it green states. Expand it until the bottom rim reaches the light floor. Delete both short walls and the light floor. Use UAG to bait a light box in front of the original yellow one and switch to an antimatter reactor. Now copy one of the yellow light floors and use UAG to bait it forward and switch to a cement mixer. Repeat on the other side, making sure both times that the light floors have the line pointing backwards. Drop the rearmost light box down one more, green state another below it and adjacency to a light floor. Snap two small walls upward off the new floor and delete the bottom one. Copy the cartwheel again and place it on the small wall, making sure it merges with the previous wheel but is slightly smaller. Place it, repeat on the other side, and delete both walls. Green state a bio-lantern off to the side, size it up slightly and place it. Grab the classic chair and use UAG to bait the sized bio-lantern and switch to a sized chair. Pick up the chair and place it centered behind the antimatter reactor. Pick up the bio-lantern and place it next to the chair's armrest, shrinking it so it's slightly lower than they are. Pick the spark plug out of the menu and green state it on top of the bio-lantern. Rotate it and place it. Repeat on the other side. Place a wall screen on either side of the antimatter reactor. Delete the light floors and all light boxes you can see, and you're done. And that's going to do it for this episode of GlitchSlapped by Enra. These constructs can be used in your base for whatever you can come up with. I've already incorporated them into several builds. Watch for more in the future. I know this was a bit of a longer episode than I usually do, and if you're still here at the end, I hope you found something you can use. As always, please do the YouTube things to help me in the algorithm, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm Enra Silver, and until next time, may all your enemies run screaming when confronted with your lethal-looking new base defenses.